Benny?
Conversations for All by Marketing for All.
Welcome to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gilmer, and a podcast engineer here, and excited to bring you another episode of Conversation for All with Christian and AC Marketing for All. I've been doing for a while here. Making connections, networking, and so on. So I guess pass into nothing further and pass it over to Christian to kick us off here today. So welcome, Christian, and you are on mute.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Emily, as always, and I appreciate everyone else that is here. We're going to open up the mics and unmute, introduce ourselves, and obviously welcome everybody in. As we get started, I just want to go ahead and do a quick shout out. So we definitely are here for, and thanks for everyone that is tuned in, anyone that is around. Obviously joining EC Marketing, but really it's the Conversations for All here at the World of Ability joined by the World of Ability Podcast Network, today's disability channel, projectdiehard.org, letsbetrees.org, communitypayitforward.us. We got a lot of wonderful people that are lined up. And, one of the things that I've kind of started to pay attention to and structuring and doing this for long enough that I have done it, is we have a lot of individuals that have a good meaning, good thoughts, and good, let's say, a lot of good ideas. But then we kind of get into our heads, and those ideas kind of get pushed down, and a lot of the ideas get kind of maybe clouded because we don't know where to start, what to do, and where to go. So with that being said, I appreciate every one of you and everything that you guys had done. Again, the Conversation for All has been structured, and it's meant to just really highlight our causes. It's supposed to supercharge folks' ability challenged, extra efforts, that we be kinder to one another, that we be a little bit nicer to one another. And of course, did you know that 22 veterans are taking their lives each day? EC Marketing for All is committed to supporting organizations dedicated to veteran mental health. We're working together to raise awareness and provide much needed resources for all. Not just veterans that we are losing, but we are losing a lot of folks I was part of and very graciously invited to. Let's talk about suicide, because we need to. Yesterday, and so this is just another opportunity to share about our experiences, to be able to support one another. And I had again, this is an event on LinkedIn that was actually through one of our mutual contacts. And it was more about just being able to recognize signs and to get over some of the stigmas or information that may be out there. And I bring that in. Unmute yourself. Come on in. Alan, my brother from another mother, always appreciate you. And when it comes to veteran mental health and just veterans, obviously, we appreciate you, sir. Hope you had a phenomenal Veterans Day weekend and this week that you've had. So we are grateful for you and of your service, but also as an advocate for mental health and just as a man, as a human being, right? So come on in, introduce yourself. 30 seconds on the clock.
Absolutely. Alan Holmes, Master Connector, specialized in connecting business owners, entrepreneurs, consumers with unique innovative resources. In short, I'm a human search engine, collaborator, connector, MC Holmes on Wednesdays. However, today I want to slow the world down, as you shared so many times, and just send my deepest condolences to the young man, the soldier who lost his life to suicide this early week. It is a very hard pill to swallow. There's nothing that anyone can say to make it feel better. But while at the same time, I just want to say we're there to support you. The gentleman from known through Project Die Hard. Crazy shared it with me, and I know Brian's working it. So I wanted at least, and all of us wanted hear Conversation for All and Mass Connectors as a family, or as Denise says, family. Send condolences and deepest support to the veterans and continue to let them know this is the reason why we do what we do as me as a mental health advocate and a Master Connector and just a veteran of this great country. We got to take care of ourselves and our families. So we love you and honor you. Brian, I know you're listening to those in the Disability Channel, World of Ability, and those around us. Make sure let them express our deepest thoughts and prayers and support, always surrounded by the angels above, supporting your families, and let them know. Thank you, Christian, for allowing me to come in and be a part of this incredible weekend.
You know, there's a lot of things that are happening. There's a lot of things that are going on in the world. And as we bring in more of our support team, because we need a team, we need a good team that is behind us. And really, again, I'm just riding the coattails of Mr. Kurt Roskopf. Unmute yourself. Come on and introduce yourself. Tell us all about the wonderful and amazing things that you got going on in the world.
All right. Well, if you're riding on my coattails, I commit to you that if there's anything I have to do with it, it's going to be quite the ride if you're on my coattails. Once in a while, I like to shake my tail feathers, and who knows what might shake off of that back end. But in any case, we're going to go forward and we're going to charge out here. I got inspired to do the World of Ability podcast, July 26, 2020. The inspiration was before that, but when I got the inspiration in 2020, because of COVID, all this time, being safer at home, I had a lot of time to think about, like everybody had to, what am I going to do to be that productive member of society, to be self-actualized, self-fulfilling activities. And, so the World of Ability came from my aspiration in water skiing, that when I got ignited in 2014 to make water skiing available for everyone, which does include our injured and wounded veterans and really all veterans, just a way to reach into a community like we never have before. And I really wasn't intending that, honestly. I was just intending to take people with disabilities skiing. And when I went out there to one of our programs in Twin Lakes, Wisconsin, the veterans were showing up through the Wounded Warrior program, teamed up with Adaptive Adventures and the Twin Lakes Aquanuts, world-class water ski show team. And I guess my dog here, Minnie, is, chiming into the conversation, seeing the activity outside. And there's these things that happen in life that, I might say that for sure I've taken for granted in my own way. And when I started to realize how what Kurt Roskopf gets to do is too much not available for other people, I thought, well, we got to do something about that. And it all started when I actually set it up for a community member with a disability to go out and water ski. And then two of my friends in our water ski team, told us no, that even though we had it set up ready to go, just like we do an annual event, no, and got inspired to do that, so this got me to reach out to the disability community. And part of that, I found out, hey, I need to be with the Independent Living Center out of Milwaukee, Independence First. And when I went to connect to them, I call it my dumb luck. Kurt Roskopf's dumb luck. I fall right into the midst of timing where they're planning the 25th anniversary celebrations of the Americans with Disabilities Act. So I'm able to go to planning meetings and everything. Come to find out, they weren't planning anything for that Sunday, July 26th. Now, that's in 2015 at that time. And so that got me into where I was like, well, we got to have something on Sunday. So when I said that, they're looking at me, well, you want to make it happen? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll make it happen. Let's do it. So, and I made it Ability Fest. And so that got me into the business of finding out what I can do to celebrate with Americans with disabilities and all people in the United States of America, all citizens and people even outside of the USA that really celebrate that we have that legislation, the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so that's what I was doing July 26, 2020, as I said, that's the 35th milestone of that signing by George H.W. Bush. And, you know, and it also is made possible by through COVID time and networking and collaborating, working with other people, actually with the lady that introduced Emily Gomer to us. It became a group inspired endeavor. And then working with one of our veterans, um, Marcus Hart, we were working on, our collaborations that he did a show, I did a show, and together we were creating networks so that other people like, hey, Christian Mendez from East Marketing for All does a show. Hey, Alan
That's
Holmes
it. That's it. Yeah, no,
doing all
absolutely.
these shows. So, and on the issue of suicide during that time, this also tied me to, general initiatives for suicide preventions. And with the radio show that we do on Wednesdays, one of the original partners I had with that was my SureTel relative, Jory Prajinski, who runs hopeandstill.org, your oasis for people living in chronic pain. And so that's another community that is not, you know, um, not outside of this issue of always having at the brink suicide ID. So my SureTel relative for sure, Jory, has had to fight that. So he too very involved in suicide prevention. And and then I started through the University of Wisconsin Milwaukee about what they do through their veteran outreaches as a university with veterans on campus, veteran students, and so forth. What they do, and I learned about how theater is a thing in Shakespeare. There's a group out there, the Feast of Caspian, and they use the stage to create a way to work through emotions, but to do so in a group activity and a way to express it, that it's not like a psychiatrist or a psychologist would, but it is ever so therapeutic. I was amazed to hear the reports on how well that's helping our veterans. So it just goes on and on and on, a big field of it. But yeah, we got to keep having these conversations because it needs to be an all hands on deck initiative. And really, the field of mental health is really for 100% of us. So really, 100% of us have to get vulnerable and say, none of us are immune to the human condition where we might get into dark places, the energy might spiral downward, and it might affect the synapses of our brain. And we have a friend, Maury Zelkovich, who's a brainwave entrainment engineer. He has a story about countless times where he was in the midst of attempts, on suicide and at the brink of losing his life to suicide. And he turned it all around and found out energy is a big deal. And now that's his practice, is through sound waves and energy wave vibrations to work the synaptic gaps in our brain, the neurons, and to play a role in it, because that's what saved his life and that's what helps him to he does today.
Absolutely, and to piggyback off that is we actually have and Bernie, who led the event through his company Insignia Training Partners LLC. Folks, you guys can find it on LinkedIn. But he's the one that I received the invitation to attend the Let's Talk About Suicide because we need to, and he was joined by a great professional, Michaela Gagné, certified trainer, and she's actually been part of some of the mental health awareness and mental health counselor, art therapist and school adjustment counselor and high school level in Fall River, Massachusetts. She's the director of mental health initiatives for United Neighbors of Fall River. Certifications in advocacy for social emotional learning and suicidal prevention has led her to speak to diverse audiences, which is exactly what we're talking about here. And she's got a certificate of advanced graduate study in school leadership and previously served as a teacher as well in a residential setting. I am not a professional. I am not certified. I just have a love and heart for folks and for mankind and womankind, for all people. And that really kind of opens up and has these conversations. Alan, unmute yourself. Come on in, my brother. And when you said it, we lost it, and we continue to lose too many good people. And that's what I told Bernie. We're just losing too many. His was just about general suicide, and it's, you know, one of the things that I did, it just kind of triggered me, if you will. And I've been in those low points in life, where deception, where energies, where, you know, different things that I've attempted against myself. But one thing that I took away from yesterday's is they said, well, it was a failed attempt. Everybody wants to be successful, right? Everybody says, well, I want success. And they go, the one thing that we want to get away from is where it was, I mean, they attempted suicide. And so, and again, I'm no professional, so please reach out, but let's have a conversation. And if you don't, again, do not follow, do not like, do not subscribe, do not share to anything you see marketing. Please go out and look at our helpopedia.org, our letsbetrees.org, our projectdiehard.org, anything within regards to our communities and the actual experts that do have the training, that do have the certification. As Alan says, we like to come in and we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know, but we're real about it. And we don't know, but we can connect you to some people. And that's what this is about. And this group came about and came together, not only because on I mean, you know, everything that just kind of correlates and gets put together without our control. It was meeting through an acquaintance, and then certain things were offered. I've been in those vulnerable situations. I've been in the underserved communities. We've played the hand that's been dealt, right, Alan?
Yes, sir.
Come on in, introduce yourself, young man. Tell me your 2 points, because one of the biggest things, as you said, is just condolences, and thoughts and prayers only go so far, right? So we want to really be able to give somebody what they can do if you hear something being said, and even if you think, well, it's a joke. When the word suicide is mentioned, it is no joke, ladies and gentlemen. When an attempted is not a failed. It's not a fail. When an attempted suicide does not go through, that's a win. So attempting suicide it was unsuccessful. Oh, what do you mean it's unsuccessful? No, we're thriving. He's living. That's success. So even the experts sometimes get it wrong, right? And sometimes need to be rewritten. But that's what we're here for. We're here to have conversations. We're here to support. We're here to uplift. We're here to make missions be shouted up on top, because that's what we were starting out the conversation in the show with. A lot of folks have a lot of good, and have a lot of good thoughts, and have a lot of good ideas, and have just good effort and good heart, good mind. But unless we get some of you guys equipped with a little bit of remember this one, Alan? Closed mouths do not get fed.
Get fed. Yes. Big. Oh, closed mouths don't get fed. No, they do not. And I actually, to go ahead and attach myself to that part of the conversation, I remember when this was 2012, 13. I was in the midst of taking care of my wife, which those who know I do take care of my wife full time for mental health and everything else. And I heard for the very first time, I want to check myself out. And she was very, to put it bluntly, I want to leave this world and I want to take my own life. And at first you hear things like that and you're thrust into with no blueprint, no GPS, you're just out there. So I actually took a class called Crisis Management, and I applaud National Alliance of Mental Illness. People that really don't know about them, but they gave me a class called Crisis Management and Family to Family. Family to Family is what for those, and they have them across. I encourage each one of you listening on the airways on the Conversation for All to look up NAMI, National Alliance of Mental Illness. They actually have classes that help you as a family member to understand what it's like when somebody makes that message. It's not a what if, it's a warning. And for those who have gone in and you take the word succeed out, they didn't, we are the voice of the voiceless. They are going and they are. And so I'm just letting you know, as a master connector, that I am humbled and honored to be a part of this conversation. We have to start talking and supporting one another and understand that no, we don't understand what they're going through, but by riding, or did they say the ride or die, be there, we're gonna ride this till the wheels fall off, as one of the actresses said that, and we have to go through that in life because the children, the family members, the mothers, the daughters, the uncles, the aunties, anybody who has this ideation, hear them and understand, seek and understand, and just sometimes be. Just they just need that ear. Check in. It's not always,
Hey.
well, do you want to pray? Christmas time and holiday, Hanukkah, everything is around us coming together, no matter what culture, creed. This moment in time, somebody is not going to have a seat at the table. So we must be the voice and step up and say we will never forget them. We will honor them, we will love them, and we support them.
That's it right
110%
there.
from your brother, from my
Woo!
mother, from straight out of Compton all the way to Riverside County, back to the conversation of all airways, to the
No,
Wisconsin,
absolutely.
to the Canada. We got you.
That's exactly it, man. It's a global. Listen, this is definitely not something most folks talk about. But as men, and we have this room, but and we're gonna open it up for Emily to come in as well. But one of the things that they said yesterday, which again that bothered me as well. So I am reaching back out to Bernie, and I'm reaching back out to Michaela, Insignia Training Partners LLC, once again. And Michaela, we're going to go ahead and have this on our links as well. But one of the other things I want to make sure and we mention is ChristineBernat.com. That's Christine, ChristineB as in boy, ERNAT.com. Why is that important? Is because it's a very simple, very, very simple technique, but boy, everything in life that is really good for us is simple. We just like to complicate things because as human beings, we like to evolve, right? So as men, and I'm going to pose this, but in this question, but they said that men are more, if you will, at chance of the suicide. And I'm also not able to, and again, I'm just showing from one man, right? Because I'm not all men. But I will tell you that culturally and historically, yes, things that have happened or things that do happen, they can affect us men because we're supposed to be the provider. We're supposed to be the protector. We're supposed to be the front. That's why, right? It's the front man, right? The hype man. And so, but realistically speaking, and I had to stop, tap, and love. I know that she says snap, tap, zap. Just let it go. Yeah, baby. And it's working. And I'm only sharing this. I'm only sharing this with you guys because and there's this gentleman, there's smoking a cigarette right in front of the drive-thru. I had to actually park because I had to get something inside. So I went back in. And as I was going back in, I see this man starting to light a cigarette. And you can see this guy, bulk guy, he's not a small guy. He's a, nice worked out, exercise type of health guy. But he's smoking a cigarette. So I come back out and I go, hey, bud, man, I can't. A guy in your shape smoking a cigarette. I haven't seen that in a while. Wow. You must maintain yourself. He goes, oh man, yeah. Man, I'm gonna stop quitting. I'm gonna stop smoking. And I said, that's the worst thing that you can do. He goes, no, listen. I've been meaning to, and I've been wanting to stop. I said, okay. So I said, listen, I will help you if you're really ready to. He put out that cigarette. He stopped smoking. He put out the cigarette and said, all right, I'm ready. Again, this dude's about 6'5", bulk dude. And he's like, I'm ready. He puts it down. He takes it out. He's done. And so I start clap and I start tap. And he's looking at me some sort of way. And I go, man, you just breathe, baby. And you just breathe. And I tell you, he actually calmed down. And he goes, you know what? I tried this. And then we started talking about CBD and this and that. And I said, listen, forget all of that. I gave him a business card. He's traveling from around the world. He's not even from here. He was out in the Oceanside traveling, grabbing lunch. Anyway, so long story short, we exchange information. We exchange camaraderie. We exchange energy. And he was able to now put that cigarette down before he was able to go back into the restaurant, to be around his wonderful kids and family and enjoy that time. But here's where I'm going to go back to, is if I wouldn't have taken the time to slow down and to recognize and acknowledge another human being for just who they are, because I always say, Alan, I thank you and I appreciate you. Kurt, I thank you and I appreciate you for who you are and what you do. As we're going to go ahead and go to the end of this tailgate of the conversation, Emily, come on in, because we as men are Neanderthals and cavemen, and we definitely need that female energy, okay? Because we just go hungry, me, warrior. Like, I get it, which is a bro culture, or whether it's just, just to get by. Listen, the days of just getting by are over. We have technology in our hands. We have information at our disposal. We can do and are able to accomplish anything and everything that we set ourselves out to do. With that being said, Emily's in the back. Maybe she's running a couple of other shows, because the talented Emily Gomer is always working and is always doing something. So I always am very appreciative and lend myself an appreciation for Emily. I got to have a conversation with you, because another thing too that has helped me out this last week, not only Christine, not only our folks at Helpopedia, not only our folks at Project Diehard, because we're going to announce that next. And Kurt's got a little bit of announcement from Project Diehard. We just launched our first base with Brian Gibson this last week. I know I kind of stole the thunder, but you can continue on the rain and bring in everything else, because I know he's already got an event coming up, and I think Emily's busy in the background. So we're going to go ahead and just give her some time as she comes back in. She can announce that. But let me say that again, folks, your content, your information, your progress is never not noticed. Anything that you do, big hills, big milestones, start a step at a time. Just like anything, it takes one step at a time. If Kurt wouldn't have taken that step in 2014, we would not be here in this space area, arena, whatever it is. So things happen, and whoop, there she is. Over the horizon she comes. Bending Earth's Light and Appearance by Emily Gomer.
Welcome everybody. I'm back. So
introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about us, and just a little bit about you and what you got going on, and how we can support you and your projects.
So I am a virtual assistant, podcast assistant, scheduler here in Wisconsin. Working with a number of different shows besides this one. I'm working with Alan's show as well, and a number of other ones. So if anybody's interested in being on the shows, please let us know, as well as like other projects with like the Easy Expo and our other Happy Neighborhood project and other groups that we're working with. So that's kind of what I have to say at the moment.
Yeah, no. Thank you, and that's great. Can you remind me and expand on the Biz Expo, because
We have
I
Christine.
love that. Yeah. Let her. Yeah. I'm telling you, and she just missed. Well, she didn't miss, but she did miss. I was just going over how I got a 6'5" guy that was smoking out in front of the restaurant to actually snap, tap, zap, and put the cigarette down, and he was ready. And that's what I was telling them. Unless they're ready, that's what go back to what Alan was saying, and we brought in Emily. Is we cannot push people. We can only encourage people, and we can only listen. And that's what Alan was saying, is that being there, and Christine has taught me to not just be there for me, but be there for everyone else in an attentive, understanding manner.
Awesome. That's beautiful. I'm so glad you shared that.
We were just going over, and Emily was talking about how she's a VA for different podcasts, for different networks and different organizations. And I kind of wanted a little bit of a highlight, Emily, as you came in, and it's great because this is exactly what I'm talking about, that as a team members, you've been doing this for how long? Come on in, introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about what you got going on right now.
Okay, so I'm Christine Bernat, and I'm a stress management coach, and I'm at someone else's house, so I'm not going to stay very long, just a few minutes to say hi. But I love helping anyone who wants to reduce their stress levels, because I crashed and burned in 2017, 18, and needed to find out of the box solutions that worked for me. And through the process, created a really easy, like snap, tap, that technique that I love using for myself and my clients, as Christian was just saying, was able to empower someone else. So the idea is to plant seeds, right? To plant a seed. Will it grow? Maybe, maybe not. But it's not my responsibility. I planted the seed. If the person comes again to knock on my door and say, hey, I want to know more about that seed, great, I'll give you a little bit more. And the successes that my clients are getting are very transformative and lasting, right, Christian?
Yes.
They're lasting. And that's the part that's really cool. And you don't need to memorize a whole bunch of things. It's just learn the technique and the different levels to it. And then you can fly in your own life. With some people will need more support than others, and that's okay. But it's just about listening to you, learning to get to know yourself, because I had lost myself in my life trying to please everyone and attain goals that the school principal wanted, that, the parents wanted. But what did Christine want? Was she taking care of herself in amongst it all? Right? My kids were my number one priority. Work at school was my number one priority. But somehow, somewhere, I lost this girl. But I was raised that way. So it was normal for me back then. However, now it's a very different lifestyle that I have, where if I need to get out of the house because I can't focus in the house, that's okay. I went to the market. My parents needed stuff at the same time, but they had a little cafe place. I sat there, got the internet, worked there productively, right, for a couple of hours, did the groceries, dropped them off at my parents, went home. So I'm, add joy to the task that you have to do. And and I was sitting in the sunlight. I mean, how can you complain about working in the sunlight? Like, nobody can complain about that. Even though it's cold outside, find a window that's in the sun and enjoy it. So how can you make your life easier? And just ease and flow is my big thing this year.
That,
Go ahead.
and zap.
Yes. Now.
I think that one of the things that you just said, which again, it triggers and different things, but
Yes.
we're going to have her back. Thank you so much for stopping in. I know you're busy. Appreciate you. We're going to go ahead and steal the thunder because we got the ripple effect of love. So stay tuned, folks. Sign up. You can find her on Alignable. You can find her on LinkedIn. You can find her on her website. You can find her on her website. And this is, again, a co-creation, co-collaboration from experts, renowned experts of 30 plus years in the teaching industry. So this is something, but I go back to, in any successful person, it does break down to 1, 2, 3. And it's
Yes.
really that simple. And
Yes.
all of those other thoughts is actually getting rid of them. It's
Mhm.
actually getting rid of, so you don't have to learn anything but 1, 2, 3. Snap, tap, zap. We'll take care of the rest. You'll take care of the rest because we're not going to do anything. You're going to do it. You're going to feel the ripple effect of love. That's going to be something that I have more information on. Thank you, Christine. We're going to wave to you as you leave. Yes, I stole that thunder, but we're going to have a new support group. So we're going to we're going to let her go, but we're going to keep you folks in tune. We're going to keep you guys informed, because this goes back to, again, we want to create ripples, and the ripple effect of love is going to be each person. You're going to be your own ripple. You're going to be your own sunshine. You're going to be your own weight and transformation. And as Christine said, is we are here to plant seeds, to support and uplift, and then to be able to hear and understand. Alan, my brother, you said, is sometimes we are needed. Sometimes we're needed not to fix. We are needed just to listen, just to understand. And boy, you said, we may not know what they feel. Unfortunately, I'm going to go into deep here. I do know how it feels to be deceived so much that you've literally, and we've talked about this, and the scars are there, and yes, this is true, and this is real,
Mhm.
that the deception can seem real, but if we slow down, if we're able to breathe, then we're able to take our brain function back and say, hey, the fight or flight, this desperation, this closeness, this absolute fear and anxiety and everything else, it's
Yeah, and I love how you say that, Christian. It's super, super important because deception can lead us down a rabbit hole, and it's our responsibility when we know snap, tap, and zap to release it in a safe way. We sometimes take on way too much of everybody's burdens. But if we are taking care of our own burdens and just being a listening ear or saying, how can I help? It is often the best way. And when somebody, and I will share one important tip, if you're supporting someone who's ranting or raving or, just keep doing snap, tap, zap while they do it so that you stay grounded in who you are, in your own gratitude, in your own self-love. And then eventually, sometimes it can take 5 minutes, sometimes it can take 45 minutes. I've done it both ways, but you just keep self-regulating yourself with the snap, tap, and zap, all the stuff. You don't take it in, you put it on, and we have different tools to put it on, as you will come and learn in the ripple effect of love how to do this. And that's how I will guide you through a whole process. And just knowing when, where, and how to implement snap, tap, zap will be very useful for all. But just test it out with anybody. I give you, and next Friday I'll be asking, who tested this out and how did it go? Because testing it, don't take my word for it. Test it out. See what you get. Okay. Gotta run. Thank you very much, Christian. Take care,
yeah,
everyone.
absolutely.
And I just want to give a shout out to Emily. I've known her for a couple of years, and she is so much better at communicating than she was. And my heart goes out to you, Emily. You're amazing. Keep going. You're doing a great job. Bye, everyone.
That's one. So as Christine left the building now, she talked about growing up. She talked about, even if, and remember, the wiring and this just came out. So again, you guys are always welcome to check, to question, and ask more questions, right? But scientists just figured out that memories do not live just in our brains. They're down to the cellular level, to a cell level. So that means when I do things with my hands, or before when, you go, hey, man, what's for lunch? A knuckle sandwich? I see Kurt smiling over there. See, I see Kurt smiling over there because we go back to the old ways, right? See, think about this. When we think and feel that way, and there's a memory that just came into Kurt's head, and that's where that smile came in from. But please understand, folks, that as we anger, or if we used to just be like that, our bodies know and they automatically enter that mode. Even if you've changed, and Christine is gone now, but she's going to be back next week, and I invite folks to, and of course, find us on the Lineable. By the way, we got a couple of in-person events where EC Marketing for All will be teaching a couple of basics on business, Google Business, in the month of November, in the month of December. So we're going to be going out to some local Alignable events, teaching business owners and marketers as well on what to do with Google Business, and how to actually drive traffic through these November, December, January months. Because there's a lot of changes, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of changes that are coming. There's a lot of changes that are happening in each and every one of you. And what's the most amazing part about those changes? We don't know what's next. That's kind of like those folks that say, hey, I love surprises. Boom, here's a bill that you were surprised with. No, I don't like that surprise. Okay, boom, you broke your hand. That's another surprise. No. Oh, wait a minute. So you don't like surprises. We like, and people that say, I love surprises. No, you like things that surprise you, that are good for you. You like good surprises. See, this is how we train our brain. This is how we break down, by folks listening to people like Christine, listening to people like Michaela. It will equip us. And then guess what? We have to do the most important part. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Alan. Because that is why I'm here. Because you folks showed up. Kurt, in 2014, you decided to show up. Emily, when you decided to take this on, you showed up. And Alan, you taking on a challenge and you show up. You don't call out. You don't kinda. You don't maybe, sorta. You've said, I'm going to attend my life. I'm taking off my wristband here, which actually has a little thing here that says every day matters. And my whole point is, you said, hey, my life, I'm going to attend every single day of my life, and you show up. And if we need a little bit of support, again, please, folks, reach out to us. Conversation at EC Marketing for All, podcast at EC Marketing for All, or our helpopedia.org, our project.diehard.org, letsbetrees.org, any of our channels or Facebook groups for the Today's Disability channel, the World of Ability Podcast Network, community pay it forward.us. Those folks are doing phenomenal things with local businesses as well. Santa Papa John as well, that's kind of working in the background and doing some things. Our whole goal is just to bring folks together, because we know that there's teams that are working against humanity. So therefore, we got Kate in the house, we got Alan in the house, we got Emily in the house, and you guys have been doing this for a lot longer. So again, I really truly appreciate everything that you guys have done, because you guys did show up. You guys did that for many years before we came in and before we started riding your coattails. So I am grateful for the foundation and the hard work that you guys had and have put in and continue to put in every week and every day of the week. So how can we make things better? We must take action and we must be present. Your final thoughts, Mr. Allen, or come on in, chime on in. You've been too quiet for me today.
Oh, well, sometimes that's why I made this comment about sometimes you have to be. Most individuals know me as I'm always out, but I do have a listening time. You taught me, young man, active listening, and that's what I was doing. But your closing thoughts was everything you said is right on and spot on. It's about reflection. It's about you'll know. I share with you, and I'll share with the world. Those who are listening around the community, the conversation for all. There's a gentleman named Leo Wright. He is a gentleman that I met this week, who grew up as an African American. However, he grew up in a section of the area where 85% of his community were farm workers, and he learned how to grow, and culturally, and he's created a environment and a mission that is about peace, love, respect, honor, dignity around the globe. It's the largest mission in the world, and he's asked me to be a part of it. It just started this week. We're going to follow up, so stay tuned. But this concept is about schools, churches, and nonprofits around the world providing value and being humble. It's igniting the passion of human development. And it's, in my humble opinion, an extension of the master connectors, the MC Holmes, all the way through the world of abilities to the disability channel to get ready for it. Conversation for all. Back to you, Mr. Christian. Thank you. I'm humbled to be here.
No, absolutely.
Love ya.
Absolutely.
Emily.
I think it's a great opportunity for folks. And again, chime on in, contact us, reach out. Now, remember, your participation is not an endorsement. We'll love to have you on, and we're going to pick your brain, and we're going to ask questions. But going back to this, Alan, I think this is vital, and I'm glad that you make those connections and you introduce them. And absolutely, we welcome them just as much as we welcome you and remind you, and we appreciate you for who you are. To tailgate on what we talked about, and like you said, is active listening, and I do too. I just got to break things apart. Going back to what we talked about and what we said, sometimes we may not know, even if we've been in a situation firsthand, we may not know what that other person is going through or is feeling in that moment. And sometimes kind of letting them know, hey, I understand. It might upset them a little bit more than the support. So sometimes Christine mentioned it before she left, and she teaches the thought process to slow things down and ask, how can I support you? How can I help? How can I be of service? And so therefore, by slowing that down, and you're going like, wait, I know most people tell me like, what's wrong? Because you're going to get an answer. Remember, you're in control. You ask your question, what's wrong? Your brain's going to start asking itself, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Let's find everything that is wrong. I go back to the old teachings of Anthony Robbins. He says, close your eyes in any room and you think about how many things that are red. He says, close your eyes and count how many things that are red in your room. Look around, thinking with your mind's eye, look around and think about what things are brown. Open your eyes. How many things that you actually found out? Now close your eyes back again. And now think about this one. What in your room is green? How many things that you can find that are green? And you start counting them. Start counting them. Start counting them. Without opening your eyes, count how many things that are green. Now open your eyes, look around, and look at how many things that are green. Now look at how many things that are green that you didn't think about that were green. Now close your eyes and ask yourself one question. How many things are purple? Don't think about anything else. You thought about red, you thought about green, you thought about blue. Now open your eyes. You really couldn't think because I wouldn't shut up. And all I asked you was to think about something purple. Our brains will deliver the answers that we ask of them. So if we ask a question of what's wrong, our brains are going to start thinking of what's wrong. Now, if we say, hey, Kurt, how can I support you? Come on in and tell me how I can support you, Kurt.
Well, compliments was good, but this show is a support already happening. We're doing the event tomorrow with Project Die Hard, so any ongoing further mention of the concert benefit is a big help. Emily is doing her show World of Ability, so that's a team project.
November 16th, 7 p.m., Real Art to Roskopf Veteran Benefit Concert. By the way, it's misspelled on that image you sent me. By the way, I forgot to mention it to you. We're going to have the Rock Love, November 16th, Rock Love. Proceeds help support Project Die Hard. Master of Ceremony, Michael Kegel. Oh, wait a minute. Michaela Kegel. We got to find out what's going on there. But if not, we got to get Michaela jump on in as a mental health advocate and a counselor. Let's go over to doors open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7. There's a $10 pre-sale, $15 at the door. And this is definitely for, again, veteran support, mental health awareness. But one of the big things that we want to go ahead and make sure is that this is also going to be streaming, if I'm correct. So we're going to try to make some things happen.
It's not going to be streaming like social media stream. It's going to be streaming into Zoom. It's going to be a Zoom meeting, like on the Zoom meeting.
Right,
so,
right.
Private
so
Zoom
folks
meeting.
Yes, so folks can sign up. You guys can catch it. You guys can still be a part of it. You guys can donate. And again, this is information that Kurt is going to provide. It will be on the actual announcements. You guys can also check out EC Marketing for All, podcast at EC Marketing for All, and or Master Connector at EC Marketing for All. We'll get you guys the information. It'll be on LinkedIn. It'll be on Alignable. It'll be on Facebook. And again, this is just the invitation. So the actual event you'll have to sign in to and then actually enjoy. Now, you don't have to just sit and enjoy. You can go ahead and actively donate and be a participant. Sign up for that as well. With that being said, Emily, come on in and let me ask you, how can we support you today?
Well, if anybody wants to or is able to join us for World of Ability tomorrow afternoon, or be part of our other shows or events, I think those are the biggest things at the moment.
Thank you so much, Emily. So I'm going to go ahead and end the show since we have 2 minutes left. I'm going to end this show with something flattering that I've actually never told anyone thus far. And you're going to definitely probably find shocking. But I am the most impressed person by Emily. And I actually have stayed on with you guys and in the show and in participation within your guys' realm because of Emily, because of Alan, because of Rudy, which I've kind of we've drifted a little bit, but I'm gonna go back to this because we have a wonderful young lady here, Emily Gomer. You showed me what showing up, even if I'm not at 100% means, because I am running around like crazy. I actually missed your call because I was trying to log into the meeting. When I say I appreciate you for who you are and whom you are and what you do, Emily, it's truly 1000% in my humble opinion. You are a leader in many ways. And that's why, again, I lend myself as a supporter, as a fan, and just as another human being. Elbow to elbow, fist pump, shake your hand, high five. You let me know what we want to do and how you want to change the world, because honestly, and again, please allow me to say, you showed me that I can show up and I can fumble through things, as Christine said. I can fumble through things and pick them up and keep moving forward. Alan, you've allowed me to be real, raw, and just come out of how the old traits that I've stopped and I no longer associate with, but they pop in our heads, don't they? We have that moment of weakness. But your support, see what I mean? That smile, your support, that I say I ride on your coattails, Kurt, and that's not a lie, man. That's not a lie. And yeah, we saved it for last, but we really don't know the unsung heroes and the folks. So this really goes out to, and I'm gonna elevate not just the 10 years, But just imagine how many lives you've touched in the last 10 years. How many people that you've motivated, Emily? How many people you've connected with, Alan? And they've gone on to other things and encouraged to do other things. But even if they didn't, if we fail, we just found out that failing is actually a key component to success. Oh, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me y'all gotta fail, and I'm not supposed to look at failure as a bad thing? Once again, folks, thank you for joining us. Easy Market for All. Christian, nice having you. Alan Holmes, thank you so much. Kurt Roskopf, Emily Gomer, ProjectDieHard.org, Let'sBeTrees.org. Make sure you guys sign up. You guys join us. Helpopedia.org, ChristineBernat.com. We get everybody on here, get everybody together. Let's support one another. Say thank you to a veteran. Say thank you to an ability awareness, the ability challenge, or an extra effort person. Let's go ahead and just make this world shine. Let's light it up. And I thank you all and appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. God bless, and we'll see you soon.
We will.
Yeah, thank you, Christian, Alan, and everybody for tuning in. Again, we'll be here again next Friday at 12:30 Pacific, 2:30 Central for another episode of Conversation for All. And we'd love to have all of you join us. So let us know. But I guess until next week, hope everybody has a safe and productive week and to stay happy.